2024. 2024. The year of the low taper fade. The year where we try to keep it very classy, keep it mindful, keep it demure. A year where we found chomos in Walmarts and beat the absolute shit. Oh my god. Yo, this is seriously a trend I hope never dies. Like, this shit gets me every time. The year where you have been promoted.
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
The year where, whoa, hold on, it can't have been that long. Let me just take a little look at this. Oh, Father God. Yeah, so it's been, ooh, that's bad. Okay. Clearly, this year affected me, but let's get into that later. This year was, to be honest, a bit of a rough one. In the words of Doechii,
honestly, I can't even fucking cap no more. This is a really dark time for me. I'm going through a lot.
But you know what? At least you didn't have to go through this year alone, because I was there too. So let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? Now, this year started off pretty strong in the music department. Specifically, I'm talking about this past year's rap beefs. Now, there were a lot. There was more rap beef this year than there were political campaigns in swing states. Political campaigns. Moving on. We had Ice Spice and Cleotrapa. We had Chris Brown and Quavo. We had Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj. Which, before... Listen. Barb community, I see what y'all do, doxing people in their life when they just breathe Nicki's name wrong, but I promise you, I want no beef here. I love me some Pink Friday. But in my humble opinion, I truly think that this quote-unquote beef is something that didn't even need to happen, because to me, his was just a vent piece, and Miss Minaj just
fragment foot bitch.
I'm not going to comment on how I feel about Bigfoot, but in my opinion, I think his is better. But enough about Nicki and Megan. When it comes to 2024 rap beef, I think everyone can agree that the first names that come to mind is Kendrick and Drake. Now, I already know this topic has been talked about and beaten to death like a chomo in a Walmart, but it still throws me that this nigga Drake went from being Anita Max Wayne.
This is my alter ego. Anita Max Wayne.
To Public Enemy #1 within like a week, bro. And I'm not into celebrity drama like that, so I don't know too much about how this rap beef even started, and I'm sure you can find a video online somewhere explaining it all. And I don't really know what qualifies to make a winner of a rap beef, but in my eyes, Drake quote-unquote lost when he tried that lawsuit against Kendrick. Like, that just looked sorry as hell, boy.
Sick Drake.
Like, you gon' sue because you think that he's using other means to get that much playtime on Not Like Us, but you ain't gonna sue for slander?
Spooky.
Like, just accept the fact that the song goes hard. Like, come on now. You'd be lying if you said otherwise. And speaking of songs going hard, this year's music just went hard. His album he just dropped, GNX, goes hard. Lana Deluxe goes hard. Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii goes hard. Chromacopia goes hard. Eternal Sunshine, Sugar Honey Iced Tea, Timeless by Kate Tronado. Oh my god. Crash by Kehlani. I actually went to her concert. Here's a little snippet.
Like this, you can please don't copyright my shit. I was really hard on it. Just wanted to show the viewers I was lit. Please.
The music this year was pretty good. I'm actually pretty satisfied with the music I've listened to this year. My personal favorite album that came out of 2024 is Mutt by Leon Thomas. I've been blasting that shit. Oh my god, it's such a good album. But speaking of music, there's one musician in particular that has been plastered all over the news. We can't talk about 2024 without talking about Diddy, guys. I'm sorry, you guys. Listen. I know this topic has been beaten to death like a chomo in a Walmart. But, all jokes aside, this man has done some heinous shit, okay? You know how bad it has to be if the US government rejects money for your bail? See, I don't know how much money, editing me, please put how much money he posted for bail. God damn. See, I don't know how much it is exactly, but I know it's a lot. And for the government to look at that money and go, nah, you gotta stay. That's bad. But, just...
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't even want to talk about this shit no more. But yeah, no, that man needs to go to jail for a very, very, very long time. But speaking of jail, I know, back at it with these transitions. Guilty. Guilty. You know who else just so happens to be in that very same jail with Diddy? The one and only Luigi Mangione. Mr. Mangione. Hold on. Mr. Mangione, can I call you Luigi? Can I? Alright, enough. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Luigi Macaroni is currently being held in jail for allegedly unaliving the United Healthcare CEO. And what still to this day fries me about this situation isn't even the fact that they caught my boy lacking in a McDonald's. It's the fact that this man straight up gatekeep, gaslight, and girl boss his own fucking gun and 3D printed it. Like, what is that? I've never heard no shit like that before. I didn't even know a 3D printer was capable of making that shit. And I was over here in 2023 worried about AI capable of doing shit. And we are 3D printing pieces now? Shit, I should get me one. But seriously, all jokes aside, I'm obviously not going to get on this platform and glorify this action that he took in particular. And I'm not going to get up here and explain the concept to people of why unaliving a person is wrong. And you, my sweet, beautiful, intellectual viewer, my
Shayla. My Shayla.
I know you're smart. And I'm gonna take a moment to scold the book talk girlies because it is not cute to glorify felons. Seriously, this shit is fucking embarrassing. Giving Wade Wilson a bad name. Not my Deadpool. And I know the internet is going crazy over this man and how fine he is. And I will not, and trust me, I will not deny fine when I see it. But, you know, I prefer my men not behind bars. I think that's a good standard to have. But boy, don't even get me started on dating in 2024. That was not good. Now, I'm not even gonna look at the man versus bear topic because frankly, if you're too tone deaf to understand the main basis behind that conversation, then you probably aren't gonna enjoy most of the content I make anyways. But since I know you, my beautiful, lovely, delectable. I know you, viewer. I know you are probably a smart person, so I'm not going to explain further. If, however, this topic is something that you are really interested in, there's a video from a creator named Funky Frogbait, who, by the way, I've been super into lately, and I think they go into detail on this very topic a lot better than I could. Shit's scary out here, man. But you know what else is scary? Horror games. Yeah, I know that one wasn't the best, but just stick with me, okay? Now, if you know me personally, you would know that I am definitely a horror fanatic. A horror fanatic, wow. You would know that I'm super into horror. Damn. Horror. And I think this past year has been a pretty good year when it came to horror games. We got Poppy Playtime, Part whatever the fuck. We got Amanda 2. Bad Parenting was pretty good. Okay, y'all, so I recorded this before I learned the dev of this game was a Chomo 2. Can someone find him in a Walmart, please? Lethal Company, That's Not My Neighbor, and my personal favorite from this year has been Mouthwash. Now, at first it was on my list of just something to make a little reference to and move on. But the more I sat down and thought about it, the more I just really wanted to talk about this game. For a multitude of reasons. And I'm gonna need you guys to just stick with me. Now, I'm not gonna do a complete deep dive onto this game because I don't have the time for it. So I recommend, if you haven't watched it yourself, I really liked Cub Scout's video for mouthwashing. I'm gonna definitely watch more from him. Side note, this year was also super big for streamers. One thing I will say is that those clips of Queso's chats earlier in the year had me crying.
Who said your blood type is barbecue? Case, did you lose a few tons? Buddy, I just checked the scale today. I'm sitting at 125. Shut up. 125 solar masses. NLE chopsticks. No way he just called me that. I love you, George 4 for Foreman.
I do plan on watching more of it since I'm super into horror games anyways. I've recently started watching Keem-sama.
I'm about to turn this bullshit. Who y'all think about to play this? Who do y'all think is about to play this?
Because he's funny as shit, so I'm probably gonna watch more of him. But anyways, my personal favorite playthrough of this game was from the YouTube channel Cub Scouts with Jay. I think he kind of he got the point of the story the best, in my opinion. Something I forgot to mention earlier, which, how could I, was Corey Kenshin coming back. That is one of, if not the only W we got out of this year, was Corey coming back.
Then you should stop. But that's different from this. It's not different. You're gonna gain weight. I'll be fine. A bite or two won't make me fat. Hey, you're already fat. I can't stand.
Back to horror games. But the premise of the story is having to take responsibility for your actions. And this message is repeated over and over and over again in the game, and it's very obvious. But a message that I think is the most important that came from this game, at least for me, was holding people accountable no matter what. Reminder, it's a horror game, so it does get pretty, horrific. And a lot of the things that happened in that game did not have to happen. Bro, this game was so good. It had me mad as that Matt Pat retired when he did. I love my brother Tom. He's holding it down for us theorists. But Matt Pat retiring was definitely not on my 2024 bingo card, bro. But speaking of Matt Pat, I would actually like to use game theory to help me wrap up this video. But before that, let's go through some honorable mentions, shall we? The 2024 Olympics, Donald Trump's unaliving attempt #1, Jennifer Coolidge impressions, Wicked, Moo Dang and Pest of the Penguin fighting for popularity. The Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. He was just beating up an old man. Shannon Sharp getting caught in 4K on an IG live. Jasmine Crockett being the funniest politician to ever live.
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
A what now?
That one TikToker guy who apparently murdered somebody. GTA 6 trailer announced. Donald Trump's unaliving attempt #2. Hawk Tua. Apparently she's a scammer now.
Hawk Tua and spit on that thing.
Dr. Disrespect gets canceled for allegedly talking to minors. Y'all, why are we surprised? This guy looks like he talks to kids. JoJo Siwa being herself. Nikado Avocado and that whole thing he's got going on. Ash Trevino, whatever she does. And last but certainly not least, the 2024 election, which brings me back to Matt Pat. Which, listen, I know that sounds crazy, but just hear me out, guys. Now, Matt Pat retiring not only was an absolute curveball, not to get all sentimental, but it really struck me in the feels because I've personally been following the Game Theories channel since 2012, so it made me feel a little old. That was honestly my first thought. I was like, no! God damn! But that being at the very beginning of the year, definitely. Thanks a lot, Matt. Threw off the whole trajectory of this year. Nigga, Matt Pat retired from YouTube to become part of the Gravity Falls canon. Like, what? But I say that to say, I was very recently rewatching some of the older videos, specifically some of the first videos off of the Food Theory channel. And I was watching his video on coffee. Chilling, drawing, probably watching that, procrastinating on making this video. And I heard him say this.
Because the king was strictly opposed to having the influence of caffeine. That's right, coffee and caffeine had a tough time gaining acceptance in Europe, much like in the Middle East. The coffee houses, or invisible colleges, as they were often referred to, were detested by King Charles II, who believed coffee houses helped people share anti-establishment ideas. And that might seem like it was a bit over the top, but the thing is, Charles II couldn't have been more right. After all, coffee houses allow for the sharing of all sorts of ideas, not just math and science. Often the ideas were political in nature. It was the age of reason. The French Revolution, often considered the culmination of the Enlightenment, was planned in coffee houses. The American Revolution was planned in coffee houses. And it's important to remember that the sharing of ideas and the questioning of traditional authority is perhaps the defining characteristic of the Age of Enlightenment.
And it really got me thinking, what's another publicly available place that people in higher positions have gotten uncomfortable and have been actively trying to take away? Now, don't run to the comments jacking me saying that Matt Pat predicted TikTok getting banned. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that you've probably heard the term history repeats itself. And all I'm saying is there's power in knowledge, and there's even greater power in being able to share that knowledge in a way that can be received by a lot of people. And that can be scary to people who don't want you to have that knowledge. I think that the US has a lot of things to worry about, and banning an app because of security reasons is definitely not one of them. But the you guy is officially in office with his girlfriend Delania and his fugly ass Cybertrucks. Please get this shit off the road. I don't want to see another one. They're disgusting to look at. I'm getting off topic. The point of the matter is, it's not a coincidence that all these CEOs was at his inauguration. It's not a coincidence that all these celebrities were at his inauguration. And it's super not a coincidence that a lot of the people that you've been seeing there are people that paid a lot of money to get TikTok banned in the first place. Now, I'm recording this literal hours after the inauguration. And I intentionally waited to record this part after the inauguration because A, partial disbelief, and B, I really wanted to see how this TikTok ban shit has been playing out. And look at this, guys. That's real. That is a real clip. That is... Oh my god, y'all. We're so fucking cooked. We're cooked unbelievably. We're sauteed, we're fried, we're laid down to the side. Yo, we're fried, bro. This country is cooked. And you've probably heard that said over and over and over and over and over again within the past few weeks leading up to the TikTok ban and the pandemonium that ensued for the 12 hours it was gone into the days after. But I'm not going to get on here and repeat the same shit to you, because what the fuck am I going to gain from that? What I'm going to tell you is to do something. A big reason why this man is in office in the first place is because a lot of the people who could have voted didn't. And a lot of reason why a lot of these people are still in these places of power is because people could do something but didn't. So I want to talk directly to you and ask you, viewer, when you are in a position of disrespect being handed to you and blatant unfairness being handed to you by a person that has more power than you in the situation, would you just stand by and let them do that? Or would you do something about it? In my last recap, the moral of the story went something like this. It's super easy to see all the bad in the world and want to stay down. But the ones who get up, the ones who keep going, and the ones who fight for change, those are the ones that make history. Those are the ones that get remembered. And that very much still stands. However, the path has shifted. In this time, you getting up and doing something and you getting up and standing for what's right has a lot more at risk, because these are our active rights being taken away. People were so concerned about TikTok being banned, we forget that the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025 is still very much being talked about and in the hands of the people in office now. This is not the time to get on the internet and complain. This is the time for action, and this is the time to do something. Moral of the story is, complacency kills. My pops always told me growing up, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. Alright, so that video took a lot longer than I thought it did, but it's okay because it ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would, so I guess I guess it's pretty fair. Thank you for watching. If there's any albums that you like that came out of 2024 that I didn't mention, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I actually really need to listen to more music, so like I would appreciate the put on. If there's any funny events that you like that I didn't mention in this video, share it with me in the comments. I love being messy. I love being nosy. If there's any funny shit that happened last year that I left out, do tell. Spill the tea, sis. Share it. Come up off that info. You know we love to be messy. Yeah, that's it. I'll see y'all next time.